Hello and welcome to the 17th episode of the CT Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Kade Herbert. Joining us today, we have Tim Ramsey. Tim is the Senior Telecom Analyst at Inapp Network Services, or INAP. We're going to be talking a little bit about how his company transitioned from their old system to a call tower system. Tim, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me today. Um, can you tell me a little bit about your role at INAP?
Sure. I manage the voice communications at INAP, including our contact centers and billing, all the billing services, and a few other things.
Very cool. I know at CallTower we've put a lot of work into our billing, so it'll be good to get your perspective on our overall solution and the billing side of things as well, because I think that's a consideration that some people might not. Well, people might not at first glance see as an important thing, but really, billing is a really critical part of making this whole system work, right?
Yeah, and I was everything on your bill was as I expected it to be, and it's very easy to read, and we haven't had any issues with it.
Fantastic. Yeah, we definitely work hard. I think we've had several vendors over the years as far as our billing system goes, and we're very happy with our current solution. So,
hmm
um, all right. So, what were some of the issues and challenges that motivated you and the team at INAP to make the move over to Call Tower?
Well, we had a voice service at each individual voice service at each of our locations, and much of
Hmm.
it was with old technology, including ISDN PRI service. So it was a matter of upgrading the technology, and we knew that we were paying way too much for the service.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, it was an easy decision to migrate away from that, and looking towards some of the vendors that had some more current technology with SIP and redundancy. Call Tower really stepped up to what our needs were.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, the more solutions you got, the more billing you've got, the more the more uh,
Mhm.
the more bills you're paying. And I can't imagine that there was a lot of unity when it comes to crossing over between locations and that sort of thing. So sounds like Call Tower was a great move. All right. So what factors went into the decision to choose Call Tower rather than maybe some of our competition?
Well, Call Tower, in offering redundant SIP trunks and a Teams direct dial integration service were the two major factors. Both at no extra cost, and including long distance in the United States and Canada was no additional cost. It was pretty, your pricing was, what do I want to say, very reasonable and
Hmm.
easy to follow. Everything was included in your monthly costs. The only additional costs were international dialing, which we expect. So that was a prime decision for that. Choosing Call Tower for this, and the fact that you could provide the service at our two major locations to serve all of our needs nationwide.
Very cool. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I can imagine that the intricacies of international calling and nickel and diming all that process can make life kind of miserable. And so we're glad that we could fill that gap for you and make it work. That's great.
Yeah, the monthly
Um,
billing is really consistent. It's right on the money where it needed to be, and saved us, like I said, saved us a considerable amount of monthly cost.
Very cool, and maybe a little bit of headache too as well, right?
Yeah, and a lot of headache too as well.
Yeah, perfect. So how have the results been since you made the change over to Caltar? How have things been flowing? Has the adoption been good?
Yeah, everything's been going great. I mean, the cutover process went very smoothly. The project management teams at Call Tower and your partner CDW were phenomenal. The transition took about 3 months to move all of our locations over, and then the billing, like I said, proved to be exactly where we expected it to be, and it's just consistent every month, and yeah, we love it.
Excellent. Yeah, no surprises on billing. That's always nice for
Mm.
sure. And that process can be really long and painful, and sometimes you got to make sure all your systems are working. And if you have a really long tech transition, it's going to be frustrating, and it's going to cost you money. And so we're really glad that we can make that transition smooth and quick for you guys. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate the shout out for CDW as well. Our friends over there, they're fantastic to work with. So we
Yeah.
appreciate that as well. So, have there been any challenges that you've noticed during the cutover or after the cutover? Anything that has kind of been a speed bump in the road?
No, not really at all. We've had no technical issues since the activation in the last few months, and the few times I've reached out to your customer service, they've been very professional and timely in their response. So, yeah, I haven't had any issues. Like I said, everything's gone exactly as uh, we had hoped it will, and went very smoothly. So, yeah,
Oh, good.
no issues whatsoever at this point.
Fantastic. Well, we hope that it continues that way and that we can be the best providers we
Hmm.
can be for you. Appreciate that. All right. Well, I think that actually covers all of our bases. Tim, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really illuminating. I'm sure lots of people are wondering what the transition is like when you're moving from an older, maybe more segmented system to a system like CallTower. So we appreciate you coming and telling us about your story.
Sure, Kate. Yeah, glad to help you out and give you a little thumbs up here.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you. That wraps it up for the 17th episode of the CT Cloud podcast. Feel free to give us a like and a subscribe, and you'll get notifications whenever we post a new episode. Thank you very much, and have a great day.